All right, guys. We've got REYNOR in the bottom left side of the map for Basilisk. Classic in the top right. Is he still playing for Twisted Minds, guys? Because I don't see a clan tag next to his name. You guys let me know if Classic is teamless right now, if he's still with Twisted Minds or another team. I know sometimes they're just playing on a different server where they don't have the clan tag there. But this is, of course, the RSL, which means it's the Korean server. You'd think you'd have those clan tags. Anyways, it is the RSL. It's upper bracket round of 8 here, guys. And of course, best of 5, Classic versus REYNOR. Always an exciting one because Classic was the god of the late game last season. But his Storm has been nerfed. Nerfed in cast range, nerfed in damage output. Buffed pretty heavily in that it's about double the duration and extra overall damage when you count the total seconds. So it's a better zoning tool, obviously less cast range, less impact at storming air units, that sort of stuff. And he's going up against REYNOR, who energy recharge also got nerfed. So I think some big nerfs to Classic and his very defensive style. REYNOR hates late game. REYNOR likes mid game, he likes running around with units. I think that the messier the game is with lots of multitasking, the better REYNOR will do. But it is hard for him to force that style of game against a defensive king like Classic. And that is why this match is so interesting to me, because it's very much for me, how does REYNOR do against a Protoss who is willing to just sit at home and work his defensive advantage? But not only that, he will mix in Glaive Adept timings. He will do very good Oracle Adept pressure as well. It's not as hectic, not as chaotic as Hero. But Classic has been very good. If you show you're just going to play Hydra Bane every game, for instance, he will just Glaive Adept you 3 times out of 5 games in a best of 5 and put the fear of God into you. We were just talking about lobsters before this series started, and someone has just announced in my chat. I'm sorry to get distracted this early, but they've said, I just found out there's a place near me that serves lobster rolls, $35 a pop. Yeah, I've never had a lobster roll. Every time I've looked at them, I've been like, that looks like there's maybe 30 grams, maybe like an ounce of lobster. And it's always so expensive. And I'm just like, yeah, I will. Because we were talking about how someone was asking me what my favorite seafood was. I was saying I love lobster. I think it's fantastic. And I think there's some like kind of similar creatures to lobsters like marron here in Australia or bugs, Moreton Bay bugs that are fantastic. But I think lobster, and I love it just deep fried salt and pepper with a little bit of chili. Just gets me going. I love it. I don't like the lobster doused in sauce. I don't like the doused in sauce style as much. It's still good. But I love just really, really simple like that. And the texture is really nice between the deep fried outside and then the kind of buttery flesh. But yeah, lobster rolls, I've always looked at the price, at least here in Australia, and gone, yeah, that's a no for me. I mean, lobster itself is crazy expensive, but if I'm gonna dish out the cash on a very special occasion, we're going for the just give me a whole lobster, share it with the fam, smash it. All right, Adept's going to come forwards. Ooh! Good defense. All right, REYNOR's all over it. Third hatchery's up. He's already got the third queen building from the third, so he didn't actually send the queen down from the main. But I like this early tumor, so we can try to connect these bases. Does he go inject or creep tumor here? I think creep tumor on the front makes more sense, because this tumor is going to connect and go out this path. This tumor wants to go that path, and then you'll eventually need a tumor going north and a tumor going south. It's not a tumor! That was not how he says that at all. You know when you say something and you just like, ugh. Maybe you guys don't have that because you're not compulsive at saying dumb things like me. Very wide wall off there. Classic's going to fix that up with an extra pylon. Looks like he messed up his building placement a little bit here. Not sure how he managed that. I feel like that Cybercore should have been further forward itself, but it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. Adept at the third base. This is a straight Glaive Adept opening, guys. It's 4 gate Glaives. He has pulled 1 worker off each gas. No Roach Warren started just yet. It's 4 minutes and you haven't seen an Oracle. It's 4 minutes. REYNOR still has not started the Roach Warren. REYNOR's defense has been pretty sloppy against surprise attacks recently that he hasn't played against. And, dude, still no Roach Warren. He's building another Spore. He's just on autopilot. He just thinks there's an Oracle. There's no third base, mate. There's no third base and no Oracle. Roach Warren only now starting at 4:15. Incredibly late. The Adepts are already moving across the map. He has to defend with Queen Ling against Glaive Adepts. 4-gate Glaive Adepts, mind you. Oh, my lord. He's in it. No, this is really bad. Fighting with the Ling's not going to work because the Prism's there. It can just pick up any of those that get weak. This is a really big problem, man. Oh, my gosh. Okay, 4 Queens, and it's going to be 34 Zerglings against 11 Adepts. If he gets a 6 round, there is a chance to defend this. But if those Adepts can get in the right corner, they will massacre these Zerglings. Does he go for it? Yes, he does. Of course, I think that's the right call for Classic. Even though the Lings get a good wraparound, can they actually kill many of these Adepts? Because the Ling count is disappearing. There's still 7 Adepts left. Only a handful of Zerglings. Those Zerglings are gone. And the Adept Shade goes into the main. Drones go for the surround. Oh, I mean, it's a good surround, but it doesn't matter. Drones don't do enough damage. 8 drones go down. The Queen's taking a lot of damage. The Zerglings do take out a few of these Adepts, but man, the Adepts are just massacring right now. More Adept Shade into that third base. If Classic could shift-click the drones, it would do big damage, but he doesn't. Bad micro there for Classic. Bit of a misstep and a rare one at that, but the Adepts are still active on the natural, now shading into the main. There's nothing there to defend. A few Lings come out to try to defend this. I think the drones probably should have fought in that case, since those Adepts were almost dead. More Adepts shading into this third base right now. 26 workers to 41, and this is just REYNOR not dotting his I's, not crossing his T's, and playing dangerous in game 1. REYNOR is famous, or I should say infamous, for being a slow starter. Even when he won his world championship, he was down games in almost every series from the quarterfinals forward. He always had to make comebacks, and being a slow starter is just such a big handicap in StarCraft, because you're so often giving away a series with a very sloppy defense, forgetting some basics early on. You got to play from behind. That being said, he's called the comeback kid for a reason. It's because he has made those comebacks so many times. And no doubt we'll be able to again. Immortal rallied across the map, had to recall there, almost lost it. REYNOR is so good mechanically, but he's having to play from such a deficit here that any more drones going down is not good for him. These 2 Adepts are well worth the shade. Oh my gosh. It's just too much damage, man. There's an Adept Immortal timing attack coming out of 2 base behind this. It's going to be a mass Adept Immortal with a single sentry for Guardian Shield. And this Adept is going to go down finally. Prism. Wait, the Prism just died. He just flew the Prism into the Queens. Big mistake for Classic. Oh god, I missed it, guys. Sorry, I just assumed the Prism would fly away. Huge mistake. He's got an out chrono a Prism. Does that give REYNOR room to recover? That is massive. Prism just flying to the Queens was a big derp. I think maybe he'd left it on the same control group. Classic's moving out to pretend to take a third base. REYNOR is not even scouting. He's just making Ravagerling. He knows. He saw an Immortal rally across the map. He knows there's going to be an incoming attack, and there is no way he builds any more drones. He should just be building Overlords, Ravagers, Lings. He's on 2 gas mining, or 3 gas, I should say. 48 drones total. He's going to see no third and confirm what his suspicions had already told him, which is, yeah, you've done crazy damage. You're just going to try and win. Would have been good if the Lings ran in the base and actually caused a bit more havoc. There's only 2 Ravagers and 4 Roaches. There's 3 Immortals, 6 Sentries, and 8 Adepts. The Adepts will ruin the Zerglings. The Immortals will ruin the Roaches and the Spine Crawlers. It's a disaster, mate. REYNOR, how the heck does he defend this one? Well, he traps the Queens there. He says, let's take those Queens down as best I can. Adepts ruining the Ling surround so easily. Those Biles do get dodged. Most of the force fields have been used up, but I think raw numbers that are left over do favor the Protoss player. Still ahead, 10 army supply. Another Queen goes down. Spinecrawler does cancel. The Ravager micro needs to be excellent here for REYNOR. Does land a Bile on an Adept, which is nice, but really the Prism is what he needs to take out. There are a few Adepts and a Sentry working their way into the natural there. You can see 4 or 5 workers going down very quickly. The Bat Ravagers is looking for the flanking Bile. REYNOR's special move. Does he get it? No. Classic. Too quick on the dodge, man. The Ravagers get trapped. REYNOR has to tap out. And this is a, I would say, rather basic mistake for REYNOR. One which he's going to be kicking himself for. This build is rare these days. And REYNOR was on autopilot. At this point in the game, guys, I think he already should be realizing what's happened. Why? Because no third base by 350, and you haven't seen an Oracle? I mean, this is the point. The Oracle should have either showed up on your side of the map or secured them starting the third Nexus. Neither of those has gone down. You should already be raising alarm bells. And that's a big issue here, because he's just like, okay, well, you try to send a probe. That probe was already going to take the third after 4 minutes. And look how late this Roach Warren is. It takes him so long to put 2 and 2 together. That should have been at least 10 seconds earlier, preferably even before 4 minutes, in my opinion. And then he might have been able to defend. Also, should have built it in the wall off, so then he could have potentially walled off with 2 more Evo chambers, just to have that option available. I do think at the start of the game, he was tricked by the warp gate. Let's take a look. If Classic doesn't even fake out the warp gate, then REYNOR has no excuse for this. So one of the things you look for is, do they start warp gate? And you want to be checking, does he start that the moment that's finished? And you can see Classic delays warp gate starting to pretend it's a Stargate build. So that's a good move by Classic, where he delays it, pretends, oh, I've put my Stargate down. Now I'm starting warp gate a little bit later. But realistically, that is because he doesn't care about the warp gate timing as much as he cares about giving off the image that he is playing an Oracle opening. So a small bit of deception for Classic shouldn't have been enough to sell the story as well as it did, but he gets a nice game one. All right, guys, Reynor in the bottom left side of the map, now going to Celestial Enclave, and that was his map pick. We were just talking about how, because he's a slow starter, someone was saying in chat, his coach needs to get him to like warm up beforehand so he like gets the rust off and stops having a slow start. I think the other problem here is because it was his map choice, and now we're in Classic's map choice, you don't want to do a cheese on your map choice. You don't want to be too aggressive or assertive. You want to play standard, and that is just, Reynor's probably not as strong at playing standard as he is. If he's got a timing attack in mind or some sort of plan, he's so good at making that work. But now is the map where you probably want to do that. Map 2, because this map's really good for Protoss. Why? Free base in the back. Really hard to attack up this ramp. Hard to take these rocks down as well to open up another entrance. It's just one of these maps where you feel like you got to play a little defensively. I do feel like these maps, they polarize the Zergs, but they polarize every player. Most players play either more all-in or more greedy. The reason is because you can defend so easily. Protoss might play crazy greed, drop a 2.5 minute third base. Because of that, Zergs might want to do crazy all-ins, where they just ravage a Ling, flood the ramp, or they rush a Nidus Worm, or try to maybe super fast rush Mutas. There's a lot of things, you know, that Zerg might try to do to punish that, and vice versa. A lot of Zergs might try to be crazy fast 4 base to keep up with the fast Protoss 3 base, and therefore the Protoss player actually does a cheesy 2 base or 2.5 base push. You know, whenever we've had these map pools, Acolyte, even Moondance had an in-base more recently a few years ago. Like, if you think of any map pool where you get free expansions in the back, you always get very polarized strategies from the players, just a much higher range of all-ins and ultra greedy build orders. So sometimes you have the craziest rush to 4-5 bases you've ever seen. Sometimes you see someone's trying to do that crazy rush to 5 base and the other guy just gets a free win. It's probably funniest when both players try a cheeky all-in and they smash into each other in weird ways that we don't very often see. Big, what's your preferred brand of cheese you should go with? Oh, I mean, it depends what for. Like, I make fun of people who like don't know what good cheese is, but at the same time, dude, if I'm at a friend's house and I see some like Kraft singles, you know, the individual plastic wrapped cheese that's barely cheese in their fridge, I'm stealing a slice. Like, that's so nostalgically satisfying. There's something about peeling that plastic off that cheese and eating that immediately out of the fridge just on its own that's so satisfying, right? Wouldn't say it's the best type of cheese, but like, my point being, there are different types of satisfaction, you know. One of my favorites is usually a Roquefort is really, really good. Is one of my favorite blue cheeses. Usually it's quite a smooth blue cheese. It's not as aggressive. I mean, I don't mind an aggressive blue cheese for the experience, but like, you can only eat small amounts of it. It's kind of like, you know, it used to be the thing, if you ever got like an IPA like 10, 15 years ago, it was always like, hey, do you want hops multiplying with other hops to the point where there's like 4,000 hops on your, and like, I love hops, but like, there was a lot of IPAs that were like, IPA just means like 4,000 bitterness rating. It was like, you know, people trying to make the hottest chili pepper ever and just trying to hit the highest Scoville number just for the reason of why not. And I'm like, you guys need to calm down. But I feel like a lot of the modern IPAs, they've balanced it out, and you get like a nice hops flavor without it literally just being a competition to see who can make the most bitter beer, which I feel like it went that way for a while. So I'm kind of the same way, like blue cheeses. Like I even those crazy strong bitter ones, I love like a few mouthfuls or a very small version of it, but I don't want too much of it. I love a good camembert. I love you know, even like just a simple creamy brie can be nice. I mean, I just love all cheeses. I don't eat that much of them, to be fair. But, dude, I eat, I'm losing weight at the moment, so I eat a lot of cottage cheese at the moment. Cottage cheese is a good snack. I like to just drizzle a bit of honey on cottage cheese, and that actually is a very good protein-heavy, low-calorie snack. Oh, 2 drones go down. Classic with a nice dive in here. 3 drones, 4. Very nice. Dude, this drone in the base. Dude! Reynor! You literally just sent a drone in the back door and got a full scout. He just got a full scout. Not only does he know that it's a Void Ray opening because he's already seen the Void Ray, it's only got one Overlord. He just got a full scout with a drone. Captain D had the drone. This is something people need to do more on this map. He's like, oh no, it's a full wall off. Most Zergs would be like, oh no, I can't scout. Literally just runs a drone in the back door and sees, oh yeah, this is a very standard blink follow-up. So REYNOR knows he has a free pass to Hydras in this game. And he's going to take the garbage hatchery. Oh, why? Guys, I hate this hatchery so much. You only get 5 minerals and half of the total gas. Yes, the gas mines at double the speed, so you get an effective 3 more drones mining. I just feel like it's hard to defend. You're not going to have creep in front of this. I guess it's a wide open area. I don't know. I like this base. I like this base. I hate this base. I hate it so much. Isn't it good for getting creep across the map? No, the creep's already past the hatchery. The hatchery doesn't help at all. This is the good thing is it's not exposed to warp prisms. If you take this base or this base, zealot run-bys are actually quite annoying, whereas this base will get defended by your units rallying across the map. So I think REYNOR is basically saying, I'm going to swarm Hydra Bane this game. I'm going to be the one attacking. I will be the one who knocks. And yeah, he's going to say, I want to just defend easily, pushing through the middle of the map. And he will take this 5th base here anyway. I think REYNOR and a lot of players just love the purple gas anyway for the extra, you know, efficiency bump up on that early mining. But I hate losing 3 mineral patches on my 4th, personally. And he's actually not going Banelings. He's going to go Hydras into Infestation. Classic's taking an early 4th with Cannon Battery. That's a really good scout, because normally with this build, if he can see the Cannon Battery, it tells him he's safe. If he doesn't see the Cannon Battery, he's very vulnerable to an early timing. Oracle comes in, gets a few creep tumors, doesn't get any drones. So often when we see players do this like 85, 90 drones straight to Hive, Hydraling Lurker style, they die to a 66 to 70 worker Storm Stalker push. But if he could scout soon with an Overseer or something, Cannon Battery, a big tell that Classic's playing late game. Both gases on the 4th, big tell that Classic's playing late game. And an even bigger tell, second Stargate. Now, second Stargate's kind of nonsense this early because he hasn't got a Fleet Beacon yet. I think Classic's build is kind of exposed to just dying. He's building a Fleet Beacon now. I think Classic seeing the gas on the 4th feels like REYNOR's being greedy enough he can get away with this. But to stop at just 4 High Templar, 3 Stalkers, and 2 Cannons is wildly greedy. And this is the sort of play where if you can transfer drones to your 4th, act like you're being greedy like REYNOR is, but actually maybe only be at 66 workers and then just shove, you sometimes can just win the game with wild attacks. Speaking of wild, it's not Hive. Hydraling Swarm Host? Who plays this? Oh, this is so cool. So he's going to go Hydraling Swarm Host Siege. He's going to go straight to free units. Wow. REYNOR is playing a wild man style, guys. I am so excited to see how this plays out. He's got such good creep. He doesn't need a Nidus Swim. He can run up, just throw a Locust Wave. He's just got to spread his Locusts out a little bit. So something against Storm is you actually want to spread your Swarm Hosts out, not go in a giant clump, because otherwise they all die to one Storm. If you can just spread them out in a line and then throw them all at once and land them in slightly different areas, this could be amazing. Oh, good links around on the Stalker. He tries to catch him when he blinks back as well. The Hydra Link comes forward, bullying Classic back into that base, baiting a Storm. These Locusts are a little clumped. He's got to watch out. Yeah, good spread, good spread. He does a reactive spready though. The Swarm Hosts are going to force a lot of Storms. They're not going to do any damage. And that's a problem. Hydra Ling runs up this ramp and... Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh my gosh, guys. He's traded 9 Hydras, 56 Zerglings, and his 4 Swarm Host Wave for 2 High Templar, 2 Stalkers, and a Void Ray. I mean, I get Classics being greedy, but that might be a little inefficient there. That's almost 3-to-1 efficiency. REYNOR's got to calm down. I do think this left side is still decent to attack. I do wonder if the new Storm is actually better against Locusts than the old one. Baneling Nest is on the way, as is a Hive. REYNOR has a massive supply lead, but remember, 14 Swarm Hosts times 3 supply each. They're not really worth that supply. They are free units. He's got to try and find that damage. Let's see what he can find. He's going to try and get in on top of those High Templar a little bit. Those Stalkers as well. A few cannons going down. The Hydraling shoving. Dude, he gets an Archon bust. Oh my god, he just man modes through. Stalkers trying to warp in. Energy recharge on the Storm could be really huge here. Classic has not used another Storm yet. He finally gets it down. Energy recharge still is not being used. Shockingly for Classic there. And that was a really good fight for REYNOR, because he got rid of the front defense and now he just masses Hydras to stop any counter. And his Swarmers just need to stay close enough that they can throw another wave. If his Swarmers get in position and throw another wave right now, I don't think the carriers can deflect that. Oh, dude, 5 base, 82 probe economy. Swarmos need to throw right now. You can't be waiting. Every time, the moment the Swarmos off cooldown, you have to throw it. It's all about tempo with these Swarmos. You cannot let Classic max out, and he's not going to give him time to get much Storm energy back. Hydra Ling running in right now. The Lings and Hydras trying to gun forwards, but the Interceptors is killing Interceptors good enough here. I think it's okay. There's only 14 Interceptors left. The Locusts and Lings do crazy damage. Dude. Does he go for carrier? Okay, he's going to get a carrier here, I think, but he will lose a lot of Hydras. Oh, the carrier survives. That's why it's so dangerous running forward with the Hydras. Reynor needs to pull out. He's going to lose quite a few Hydras for that dive. Dude, okay. Wow. Only 65 workers left for Classic. He's on 4 bases, but of course, Reynor's on 5 bases and could easily take a 6 base behind it, but he's got to pull back. He cannot throw this game. I love the Swarmos staying on the front. Yeah, the Swarmos flank around. You don't want to use the Swarmos defensively. He just needs to get like 30 Hydras together so he can beat the Interceptors again with hold position micro. And that Nexus is toast. Would have loved to see him send a few of the Locusts to kill the probes. That's still crazy good damage. Hydras are going to come forward. He should hold position the Hydras. He's trying to run forward with the Hydras to focus the carrier. I think he should not be doing that. The Hydras are kind of wrecking themselves by running forward. You want to be hold position there. Now he's actually fighting just Interceptors. And with the Interceptors gone, the carriers are dead weights. They can't fight. Classic's 4th is dead. And Reynor, with a very clever play that I didn't even think of. Hydra, Ling, Swarmos. Not something you see every day. Massive storms come forward for Classic. Surprised Reynor didn't focus those High Templar down. But of course, Reynor realizes even just trading with Interceptors is good enough because he's got a massive economy advantage, a massive rally. Every Interceptor that goes down, a disaster for Classic. Classic's going to tap out any moment now as the endless rally of Zerg takes him down. I mentioned Hydra Ling Swarm Host a little while ago, says kind of an inbound. I don't think it's a good strategy normally, but on this map, genius, right? Like, this actually makes a lot of sense, dude. So that's a really cool idea. It's always good to think outside of the box because there's always a situation where you're just rushing late game. You're trying to get Tempests or carriers off 120 supply. I'm rushing to like 80 drones without building any units. I didn't need to build roaches. I got to skip Banelings. And it's like this weird thing where, yeah, the last thing you're expecting there is Swarm Hosts. But you can get away with it on maps like this. You might, and the difference here, so it's not that long a map, which is really good. That's why the creep was able to get so far out, right? So good creep spread, number one. A map that's not too long, so you can spread creep across it. It's also got like the way it's so defensible from ground attacks makes it good for Swarmos because they can wall off. Locusts can throw over the wall. They can try and defend this side. If your Swarmos get here, you can even throw Locusts into their backdoor base. So there's like a lot of cool stuff you can do with Swarmos on a map where it's really annoying to attack normally because you're running up these tight choke points and these cliffs and ramps. Swarmos can just throw Locusts over those. So Swarmos are always kind of good on a map that's more turtly. They're also really good for this, like, I'm just going to run forwards and throw Locusts into your base if you've got good creep dominance on the map. And I think Classic just a bit too passive there. But we know Classic's the late game defensive master. Reynor found a really good counter to it here. And that's probably going to push Classic more towards going, okay, I need to actually pressure with Stalkers and Storm, and take a few more risks. Otherwise, if I just hand him map control, let him cover the map and creep, Reynor's going to be able to pull off moves like this. Really good game 2 for Reynor. All right, guys, going into game 3, Basilisk Reynor in the bottom right side of the map after a nice punchback. And I think now we get to more, I should say less extreme maps, right? I think now you're like, okay, Winter Madness, pretty balanced map. Probably get like a Ruby Rock, or do you think maybe like a Taito Citadel? What other maps would you expect for games 4 and 5 in a ZvP? I'm still not up to date with what every player's vetoing on these maps, but I imagine like a Taito or a Ruby Rock is going to be a pretty common map. Winter Madness as well. A lot of players are saying pretty balanced. We'll see how this goes. It is hatch first for Reynor. Gets it down with no delay. Classic is going to go Gate Scout. Now, we've talked a lot about how Gate Scout is the least optimal PvZ opening. For some reason, Classic and Zaun insist on doing this every game. It happened to coincide with Protoss being favored against Zerg last patch. Protoss, I don't think, is favored against Zerg at the pro level right now at all. I don't know. I could be wrong, or it could never have been Protoss favored if you count guys like Serral, who obviously were never unfavored against Protoss, but I just think it's an inefficient opening. He does do well with his probe harass, and I've noticed sometimes this tilts Reynor, so it might be worth it. Interesting that he doesn't build the choke point straight away. I always feel like walling off with the choke point and then building your third building behind to wall off is the easier way to wall off, but everyone has their own technique. Notice he only pulled one worker off minerals onto gas and now saturates the minerals. He's going to build the pylon here. It's going to allow him to build his Stargate down here. Very easy to scout. Basically, Classic's not trying to hide what he's doing at all. He's just trying to do it as efficiently as possible. What's great about this pylon is you can fit so many buildings around this. I see a lot of low-level players fit like 3 gateways, but if you build your units flush with the pylon, you can fit a gateway here, 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 here. You can fit 8 gateways on either side of it, and a bunch more buildings above and below it as well. So it really is, if you place your buildings correctly, a single pylon can build almost all the production you need in the main. Obviously, you want to build extra pylons later on so that it's not an Artosis pylon. It's easily depowered. Now, REYNOR does see Warp Gate start spinning, but remember, that was a trick last time around, so he won't completely be sure it's an Oracle build, though he'll play under that assumption for now. Who is this Taito guy? Taito is a neighborhood in Tokyo, guys. It's where Akihabara is. Oh, Adept comes forward, let's go! Almost gets a second Zergling. Classic, good start though. And yeah, drone as well. REYNOR cancelling that drone was very risky. Really nice first Adept, guys. 1 drone, 1 Zergling. Massive start for Classic. Should be chronoing this Oracle as he's hitting 50 energy right there. And an almost instant chrono. Beautiful play. And of course, he's got a 3rd Adept building. So he's got 1 Adept there shading forwards just to see what's going on. Sees a creep tumor, not much else. 2 Adepts still going to roam the front. REYNOR is building 8 more Lings. If he could surround these, that'd be really nice for him. Spore Crawler in the main does start. No Spore in the natural just yet. Second Oracle is on the way now. No, he's not staying at home. Classic's playing a diving man style, guys. He's going to dive the mineral line. Wow. Okay, very aggressive. It does delay his 3rd base. These Lings should be able to get a cancel. Problem? There's no Lings left at home. Oh, REYNOR. This is every Zerg's worst nightmare, is those Adepts coming in when you got nothing at home. That being said, free cancel on the 3rd is every Protoss' worst nightmare. He's got to get big damage with the Adepts to make up for this, does Classic. Now he's got an Oracle there, but he's slow to send a new probe out to his 3rd. Finally, it's coming. These Adepts are coming in. Most of the Lings will go home. I love that he leaves 3 Zerglings on the front, hoping to get the probe. Classic with a quick reaction, though. Will keep the probe alive. Nicely done. The Adepts come in. 3 drones do fall. Can he get a 4th one? Yes, he can. Delicious micro for Classic. And he takes 5 drones with those 2 Adepts, which I think redeems himself. If this probe went down to the 3 Zerglings, I think I'm happy with REYNOR's spot. Because the 3rd Nexus started, I think that's good for Classic. He's got the Forge on the way, the Twilight. He has paused probing momentarily here, which I'm not a big fan of. Is he going... You're not going Glaives here. That's stupid. You have to play Blink or Charge. Okay, he's going to go Charge +1 timing, maybe. If he chronos +1, because you can see +1 takes 120 seconds. This only takes 100. So if you chrono +1 twice, these upgrades time out. He did cut probes to get 6 gateways down all at once, which means he'll definitely run across the map with Zealot Oracle and at least poke. +1 melee. Good upgrade, but not as good as the +1 Zealots that are going to cause him troubles. Another gateway goes down. Is he going to drop a Templar Archives? Yeah, he's chronoing both of them now. Oh, Ling's coming in on the 3rd. Okay, great angle for REYNOR. Really good angle. Gets an Adept and a Pylon. He'll have to back away, I think, before getting the 2nd one. Stalker in the open. Could be a juicy pickoff. Lings are going to run away, though, knowing the Oracles should be back by now. It's really good for REYNOR. He's going to start a 4th base on the right side. That's the 5th base we were looking at just before. Lair comes down. It's not an early Lair. No Baneling Nest, no Roach Warren. REYNOR, there's greed, and then there's what you're doing in this game, mate. This is so greedy, especially after denying his 4th. No Roach Warren, no Bane Nest. 5-minute 30 Lair. Like, this is, like... I worry that these Zealots are just going to get massive damage done. We'll find out. He only sees 1 Stalker. He has to have... His hackles should be rising, guys. Hair should be standing on end. There's clearly something being hidden right now. You need to run home and build a Roach Warren or Baneling Nest. Why has he only got 2 Stalkers at 6:15 and 2 Oracles? There's something missing. Immediately, Baneling Nest spine do go down. REYNOR probably not going to have those in time, though. 15 Zealots with +1. Oh, gee whiz, man. Oh, geez, Rick. Oh. At this point, this is where you send Zerglings across the map and hope the Zealots are on A move and chase them, because you know you can't defend this right now. REYNOR playing so greedy here. Oh, if he just had the safety Baneling Nest, he could have morphed 10 Banes. And that would hold this off, I think, or at least make it possible to hold without that, though. Drones need to run away. The Spine Crawler is going to come up, but a little bit too little too late. The Queen's coming forward. I do like the way he set off that stasis trap. Spine Crawler is going to help out. Can the Spine and the Queens do this? Oh, maybe, maybe not. The Spine Crawler does help a little bit. Zergling set off the stasis trap. He's going to morph Banes down here. He's going to have to morph some Baney Banes. Is REYNOR. He's trying to fight on the ramp. The Queens are doing a really good job. Lair's getting focused right now, but Classic really not working as much damage with this as I thought. These Zealots should have shift-clicked on a few of these drones, but he's not actually got any economic damage. REYNOR and scrambling out of an impossible situation with barely any damage. Name a more iconic duo. I'll wait. Anyone else loses 20 drones and every Zergling here? REYNOR traded evenly. Did he lose a massive amount of mining time? Yes. Is he going to lose his 5th hatchery? Probably. Still, that is actually insane. He lost an Oracle, almost lost a second one. You are meant to take so much damage. He even saves the 5th hatchery. REYNOR is too good at StarCraft. Honestly, I think he's too skilled for his own good. Any other player gets punished here and then realizes, like, hey, I have a hard lesson. REYNOR just got away against one of the best Protosses in the world without learning the lesson that there is no reason to not have a safety Baneling Nest a minute earlier when your lair started. The 100 minerals and 50 gas, like keeping that drone mining, it's not that big of an economic advantage, but it's such a big risk. I can't believe he got away with that. REYNOR is so good at StarCraft, but Zealot Archons here, these Lings need to loop around. He's not ready. Give up this 5th base and get Hydras on the high ground with Groove Spines. Oh, he's gone the wrong upgrade. He's gone movement. Movement's better. I mean, maybe he can kite a bit. These Lings a little bit slow to loop around. He needs to go deny that 4th or get on the mineral line, one or the other. He's going to lose his 5th base. I think these Banes should keep him safe, though. And I think being on 4 bases of his own, he should be okay. Oh, Oracle's coming over with the Zealots. Not going to be in time, I don't think. +1 melee Zerglings, man. Yeah, good cancel. REYNOR with a juicy snipe. Does lose a lot of Lings, though. Every single Zergling will go down here. And I think Classic with the instant rebuild is doing okay. Then again, supply 75 drones, 4 gases, 6 gas. 4 bases, 6 gas, I should say. +1 range coming in after +1 melee as well. Storm's just now kicked in. I think REYNOR's army is so much better. But if Classic can keep him back a little bit, maybe he can buy some time. Problem is if he goes on creep and Banelings hit these High Templar, he's screwed. Baneling speed's almost ready. Let's go to Classic's vision, guys. I don't think he knows where the army is. He has no idea. We're on Classic's camera right now. He has no idea that REYNOR's army's out here going for the counterattack. REYNOR says, oh, you want to make this game messy? I'm way better in a mobile messy game than you are, bud. I don't know if that's true, though. Zealot Archon's actually pretty good at a base trade. We'll see how he does. Queens are on that right side. They're going to get taken down. Hydraling Bane's going to try to roll into the 3rd and the 4th. This game's going to get very messy, dude. If Banes roll into these High Templar, everything falls apart. All the Queens die, Spine Crawler, and all the drones on the 4th will die as well. REYNOR does kill the 4th, doesn't quite kill the 3rd. He still has a scary army. And the Banelings! Can they get the High Templar? Oh! Okay, he gets a few of them. There's still 2 or 3 Storms left. Storms are getting baited, though. If REYNOR can click... If Classic, sorry, can click that hatchery, that would be huge. Baneling's trying to roll forwards. He's going after the Zealots, not the High Templar. One of the High Templars only left. They've all morphed into Archons now. The Banelings on the Zealots were absolutely massive there. The Hydra army's kind of getting overrun by the Zealot Warpins. Does pop an Archon, though. Nicely done. REYNOR's got to keep his Hydras alive. He's got a lot of Lings on the other side. He just killed the 3rd. If he can defend this hatchery, he will win this game. I think this is such a clever retreat for REYNOR. He wants to bring his Zerglings back. He's going to try and pull back, let his Queens tank. If he can clear this army, look at that. Zerglings come from behind, distracting the Archon Zealot. And this is a really good fight for REYNOR. Is it enough? He gets the Prism! Stops 90% of the Warping, gets a surround, and does shut down Classic's desperate Archon Zealot High Templar push. Classic on 2 base. REYNOR still on 3. REYNOR can drop a 4th base back up here pretty quickly. That means he's got some good longevity. And more importantly, his current army. 16 Hydras, 8 Lings against just a few High Templar and Archon and 4 Zealots. Classic's going to go out and long distance mine. But he is in an impossible position unless his Storms... If REYNOR decides to have a shower, that's the question. Is REYNOR feeling dirty? Does he want to get clean? Does he want the cleaning power of that high-pressure shower? This is like showering under a firefighting hose. Put that thing right in your face at point-blank range. It will give you brain damage, much like will Psystorms if your Hydra's sit in it. But he baits the storm, calmly moves out of it. Probes have now been pulled into the army, guys. And when you're pulling probes into Hydra Baneling, usually that's a sign that you're in Dicktown. I think Classic knows he's there, and he's trying to make the most of a stinky position. He knows that Reynor's economy is not good, and he can still make gas units that are very good. This is always the advantage of Protoss in a low economy game, is the longer your High Templar gather energy, the better they get. Archons are good, well-rounded fighting units. So he feels like, hey man, maybe there's a chance I get back in this with Storm. The Spire tech switch for Reynor is incredibly devious. That's going to be so good against a guy who doesn't have anything that shoots up other than Archons. Uh-oh. 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 Hydra's caught. Those Banelings need to cover him, man. Zealots don't chase any further. Good starter step. 8 mutas are on the way. This 4th base was so delayed for Reynor. You can see he's oversaturated on the natural. Got these spores moving forward at the 3rd, just in case the Prism flies in. Double Nexus goes down for Classic. He's decided, I want to recover in the long game. I think these mutas... I don't know if they'll make him tap out immediately. I would leave the game when I see those mutalisks as Classic. Classic is blind. He's stuck in his corner. He doesn't really have a lot of information about what's going on. And this is just something you don't have the mobility to deal with. So Reynor's going to stack the mutas up, fly in all at once, and you're going to see Classic, potentially GG here. Doesn't have a good answer. Does pull the probes. I think typing good game is a very valid choice here for Classic. Does warp in Stalkers in the main. Blink is ready already. Mutas get 10 probes on their first drive-through. Not just 10 probes, he also forces Stalkers out of Classic, which is in of itself, I would say, quite a victory. And now the Hydraling Bane off 60 drones, massing up. Reynor does need to transfer workers and get that 4th mining, but he's so focused on the aggressive momentum right now. He'd like to lure some of the units out so his Hydraling Bane can surround it. I think that's what he really wants to do. I would have loved to see him kill this pylon so that his Hydraling Bane could loop in from this side and this side once the Archons move down here on the ramp, but he's going to come all from one angle. Mutas do go to the right side. They cop a storm, take out just 2 probes for a Mutalisk. Banelings will clear that mineral line. If they choose to fight, a few Hydras do stand in the storm. 12 Banes go down. Oh, I don't think engaging here is a good idea for Reynor. Okay, a few Banelings trickle into the Zealots in decent formation. Another storm does get baited out. Reynor has all the advantages here in the long term. He doesn't need to force it. With all the storms gone, he says, well, it's go time, baby. Hydras run forward. Archons are getting popped, as are the Zealots getting cleared. He actually runs away. I'm surprised he doesn't try to pick off this Archon that's chasing him. It's a very fragile, very expensive target, but he doesn't want to get chased down too hard. The mutas have just flown back in on that natural, and Classic, of course, promptly GG's as he'd F2'd his whole army to the front to chase it. He knows he can't get on top, and Reynor is now leading 2-1. Alright guys, we've got Reynor in the top left side of the map. Dude, he's on fire this series. He's got Persephone now. Classic down here in the bottom. I think he handled yes, his 3rd got denied, but then he got the 2nd go of it up. He got the 2 Adepts in, killed 5 drones. And then he goes in with 2 Oracles and like, was it 15 Zealots with +1 against nothing but Zerglings? And he gets so little damage. Now, I do think he should have force the fight a bit earlier by either jumping on the queens or jumping up the ramp into the main and splitting up more Zealots onto the drones. Classic did miss an opportunity, but I think it's one of those things. It's only when you're playing the Reynors, the Serals of this world that they're actually good enough to make that sort of defense work. And honestly, I think Seral wouldn't have done it as well as Reynor. Reynor is so clutch at wriggling his way out of trouble. And I've always said that Reynor regularly gets away with defenses that no other player gets away with. And you could argue it's part of why his scouting is not as good as Seral's. Because even when Seral barely makes a miraculous hold, you can tell Seral's internal voice is like, idiot, why did I leave that opening? Why didn't I, like Seral's, you know, he's got a flow chart in his brain. Seral is like, I saw this, I should have done this, why did I not follow the flow chart? Like, because Seral has a super optimized flow chart is how he plays StarCraft, right? Reynor is an intuitive gamer who likes to run units around, do backstabs, and cut corners where he can. He's very intuitive. He's not as crazy as he was in his younger days, but he's still at the heart of who he is as a StarCraft player. Reynor is not a flowchart gamer. Yeah, sometimes he has his best tournament results occasionally when a flowchart gamer like Lambo teaches him and helps coach him some really good timing attacks. But it's not the core of who he is when he's playing like loose, flexible StarCraft. So definitely something I think he's got to keep in mind there. He's going to delay that extra queen as Reynor. He went for the very quick third base. I'm not sure if that's just because he didn't want it to get blocked or... Like, why would you go for the quick third in this matchup, guys? I don't know what the real advantage of it is. I actually have no idea. Obviously, you get the third up faster, but then this queen in the main is later. Is it actually more economic? It feels like it ends up in the same spot. I know where you do it against Terran, because your third gets blocked in that matchup. Maybe he didn't want to build 4 Zerglings. He was worried about a pylon block on this match. It's a big map, guys. Classic, so far doing well. I like that he targeted the drone in the pocket. Nice move. The reason he targeted the drone that was in the pocket is you can't place a spore there. So the drone had to move further to place a spore crawler. And Reynor was just slightly too slow on it. Whereas if you shoot this guy, very easy for Reynor to pull him over and build a spore. So that was very clever targeting for Classic. Nice detail-oriented build order. Oracle's on the way. Dep's coming forwards. Ooh! Okay, Dep's going to shade backwards. 1 Adept for 1 Zergling. That one not as successful for Classic. Spore Crawler goes up in the main. Now, Reynor hasn't scouted Stargate. He's hidden his Overlord in case it was a Void Ray. Could poke the Overlord in to scout the third, but it looks like the Lings will go forwards. I think taking out one of the Adepts means the other Adept basically has to go home, even if he wasn't initially planning to. This Adept is poorly positioned. He needs to move forward. Classic realizes it. Classic, very different to Hero. Always fixing his little gaps in his defenses. Evo Chamber goes down for Reynor. Oh my lord! Guys, Twilight Robo after 2 Oracle. Classic is playing the European style of Archon drop after double Oracle. It's going to go straight into Archon Zealot. This is very weak tonight as Swarm Host later on. But Reynor, you usually need to get Roaches against the initial Archon drop. Hits at about 5 minutes 40 usually. The Archon's hitting your base. But if you catch the Prism coming across, you can actually stop him from morphing the Archons on your side in the first place. Easier said than done. 2 drones and a queen get distracted. Lings defend that stasis. Classic's not really doing any damage here. At least he sees the Evo Chamber, so he knows, okay, as expected, it is going to be Lings again. Not leaving a queen on this base is problematic. Could have had a queen behind the mineral line there to do some good damage to them. Got 2 queens in the main. And here we go. Reynor should easily be able to respond as long as he pulls far enough away, which he does. Yeah, Oracles aren't really doing much. Lair starts at just past 5 minutes this time. Much better Lair timing. Dude, is he just going to hit him? Oh, is he pulling off? Fake gases. He's taking fake gases, guys. Classic's taking fake gases. Reynor hasn't even scouted the third. Reynor's playing purely blind right now. No safety Baneling Nest, no safety Roach Horn, and he's going double Evo Chamber. He wants to play mass Zergling with no scouting. Reynor has already been punished twice in this series from his lack of scouting. And we're in the third of 4 games, and he's once again not committing to more scouting. The fake gases weren't even needed here. It's going to be a massive 8-gate Zealot attack. Prism sees the Zergling, goes to the left side. He's going to go up here. And Reynor just refusing to make any safety structures. No Roach Horn, no Bane Nest. This is a very greedy play, and I think it's going to get him in trouble. I think Classic should have unloaded these Zealots already. But it looks like... Oh, I see what he's going to do. He's going to run those Zealots in the front at the same time as warping in another 8 in the main. Cancels the gas after Reynor sees it. Reynor didn't even see it. Never mind. Reynor's going 1-1 melee Mass Ling Queen. He's doing a gimmicky build order. I think he was hoping to run into Stalkers, and he was hoping to rush up the Hive and Ultras here. But those Zealots are going to cause him trouble. These Queens need to run. These guys should have run to the left. These guys should have run to the right, to the ramp. He's not doing this as well as he did last time. He's already lost 3 Queens, guys. 4 Queens. 5 Queens have gone down. Zealots are on the right side. Oh, sorry, Adepts are on the right side as well. Reynor does have a lot of Zerglings with +1 melee, and there's no +1 on the Zealots. So the Zerglings actually perform pretty decently here. Lings should probably target the stasis traps. Watch out, Reynor. Oh, big stasis trap. Does trap a lot of units. There's a Spore Crawler there as well. The Queens are going to try and defend the Oracles. The Oracles have to back away. The Lings will defend. Reynor and Heinous Greed. Name a more iconic duo. I can't believe he's gotten away with it again. He's only lost 6 drones. How is he this good at StarCraft, man? The way REYNOR plays is like, it's everything I wish I could do when I play StarCraft, and I just can't. I just can't. Oh my gosh. Oracle gets shut down. Zealots get surrounded. Luckily, he saves 3 of them. But REYNOR finds himself way ahead in this series. And now Classic is what? He got a Templar Archives. He's got nothing but Zealots on the map and a single Oracle and a Prism. He's up in Workers. REYNOR's building a Hive. And he actually hasn't been injecting for the last few minutes. So I was like, isn't REYNOR just going to hold the drone key down? He doesn't have lava. He had to build so many Zerglings that he is actually behind in economy. The problem is that the tech of Classic, how do you guys describe this? Could someone give me some thesaurus words for garbage? What's not trash, garbage, waste, detritus? His tech is nothing. He has Zealots, Archons, no Forge, no Storm. It's a garbage man style of Protoss versus Zerg, and yet Archon Zealot's a real problem for REYNOR right now. Dude, look at this crazy commitment. He saves the Archon. He saves the Archon. The Zerglings get cleaned up. Classic going for a crazy Zealot Archon attack in this main, dodging the spores. Dude, oh my god, you psychopath. He's gonna pull it off. He gets the spore. The queens went down. Dude, this is such a crazy attack. Oh my god, it's a proper big troll-like attack, much like Detritus from Ankh-Morpork of the City Watch. But the queens and the spores finally get on top, the Prism Archon goes down, and REYNOR survives yet another wave of desperate Protoss savagery. Detritus was the troll, right, guys? It's been a while. I've been reading to reread Discworld. Anyway, Storm's just started, 3 more Archons morphing. He's on 6 gas. He's going to get to a 4th base now. Classic's going to be able to work his way towards a macro game. Problem, he still doesn't have a Forge against a guy who's going 2-2 Adrenal Glands and Ultras. REYNOR's like tech is actually so much better than Classic's, but honestly, he still doesn't have a Roach Warren. I still don't know if he has an answer to another wave of Zealot Archon. Unless he can get Ultras in time, and he's not mining enough gas right now to do that. Great Ling Run buys. The problem is, he just killed the 4th no cancel, which means Classic has to counterattack. And he's not ready for the counterattack because he has no gas to build Ultras. Oh no, REYNOR literally just activated the one move that would kill him. His Lings need to base trade. He can't fight Zealot Archon right now. His Ultra Cavern's not ready. He literally pushed Classic into doing the thing that beats him. I can't blame him for it. You see a 4th base, you want to cancel it. That's what you do as a Zerg player. That's the logical thing. It just turns out that in this particular scenario, that forces Classic to kill you. He just forced Classic to win the game. The Lings, can they surround the Archons? The Banes don't really get the hits he was looking for. Those Bane hits were not good. They didn't get the middle of the Zealots. Good spready, so many Archons. Queen's coming forward. Can they get rid of the Prism? No, they cannot. Classic, with the 3rd wave of Zealot Archon, finally breaks through REYNOR, the greediest Zerg in the world. I think that's REYNOR's new title this series, guys. It goes 2-2 here. The greediest Zerg in the world. Just absolutely hamming out like a friggin' psychopath. Just crazy greed for REYNOR. Insane game. I love that Classic with that 2nd wave of Zealot Archon really got in and disrupted REYNOR right when he was trying to resaturate and rebuild gases. That Archon elevated actually traded pretty darn well, even though the follow-up over here did get cleaned up pretty well. I mean, just crazy games, man. We're going to game 5. This is sick. All right, it's all going to be decided here, guys, on the Tokamak. This is a pretty good map for Protoss to Turtle. I'm surprised Classic waited this long to pick this map. I hate this map for REYNOR. I think this map's great for Classic. I think there's 2 things REYNOR wants to look for here, guys. Number 1 is a potential Muta swap or mass Muta play. The other one would be a Nidus Swarmhost if Classic continues to play charge openings, which I would suspect he does. Nidus Swarmhost with a heavy Roach Ravager Ling army on the ground can be, very, very good. You can throw it from over here into this base and from over here into this base. So, you know, like we said earlier on Enclave, if they've got just 2 choke points leading in and there's cliffs everywhere and stuff, and you think, oh man, this is not a good map to attack in a Protoss, suddenly Swarmhost could be effective on that. And if they go heavy Blink and they're on the map, you really can't get your Swarmhosts anywhere near his base to throw them. But if they play Zealots, then you can do very well. How much Mechabellum have you played? Oh, you're talking to someone else, not me in the chat. I was like, I played many hundreds of hours of Mechabellum. Haven't been playing the last few months though. But No doubt we'll get back into it. Auto battlers are very fun. I think the best thing as well is there's usually a lot of very low level players in auto battlers like that just stay at low levels. So you usually have a pretty big population of players who are awful at the game, which means it's a pretty fun, smooth process of like slowly leveling up at whatever rate you find fun. Tried multiplayer? Wait, there's a single player of Mechabellum? I guess there is some mode you can play, yeah. I would only play multiplayer. But it's not too hard to get the hang of the basics if you have someone who knows the ropes showing you. Oh gosh, Proxy Oracle, old school, baby. Guys, this is cool. Classic. Getting a bit of a twist in here. And REYNOR doesn't send his Overlord through the main ever. Now, because Classic has never opened Stalker, this is where something like Cyril's theory knowledge is so good. Because Cyril, I think, would just send the Overlord through the main at some point here. He'd be like, hey, this guy never builds a Stalker. One of these games, I'm going to punish that. Sending the Overlord in, getting the full scout. And that would tell you this. But, you know, I'm not saying that's something REYNOR definitely should have done this game. It's just one of those small things where, like, wait, pattern-wise, Classic has never opened Stalker first. Overlord immediate sacrifice, like just go straight through the base, actually would have been a good call, but REYNOR's done the same thing with his Overlord every game. And that now is being abused by the fact that Classic is able to sneak this proxy Stargate up. Can you get a Spore up in the main in time? Usually the answer is no. So it's often going to be, can you pull drones away and scramble your queens to location early enough? It's much easier if you've got an Overlord that sees it coming. And he's got an Overlord heading in that direction up here, which might just barely see the Oracle coming in a little bit earlier. Every inch this Overlord moves out gives another fraction of a second REYNOR will have to react to this. Oh gosh. Extra pylon builds in the main here for Classic. He's chronoed one Oracle. No doubt we'll build a second behind that as well, most likely. Got to wait for the 150 gas. Second Oracle starts. Let's go to REYNOR's camera, guys. He's busy with the Adepts, which means the Oracle dodged the Overlord. The Oracle has dodged the Overlord, giving him even less time to respond, despite that a near-instant drone transfer. Excellent control for REYNOR. Made the best of this. Let's go back to everyone's camera. Oh my gosh, 7 drones, 8! 8 drones! Did the Lings at least kill the Adepts? No, the Adepts got home as well. Oh, massive damage for the first wave. That is huge. Oracle's not even going to try to defend. He wants more damage. He's going to fly right into that base and see what he can find. At least you get rid of the Stargate, which makes Mutaplay even stronger after this. But you need to be really focused on trying to drone. Delay putting back on gas is the correct call for REYNOR. And at least he gets a little bit of counter damage here. 2 Adepts and an Oracle ready to defend the third. Extra pylons coming up to get him out of that supply block. And Classic up 6 workers as the dust settles. Here we go. Oracle's driving south. Oh no! Oh no! I find auto battlers kind of boring. Isn't it just an enhanced direct strike? I never liked Nexus Wars or direct strike. I always found those maps boring. To be fair, I never gave them that much of a chance. Mechabellum has a lot more control and complexity over what's going on. And I would say just the unit interactions feel really, really interesting and good in the placement options on the flank and stuff. I think most auto battlers I've played, I've found very uninteresting. Mechabellum's the exception for a reason. Anyways, let's talk about this. 11 Adepts coming forward with Glaive Adepts. 2 Oracles coming out. Oh, man. Oh, REYNOR. Okay, he sees it. He sees it. He's got a Roach Warren. It's not quite finished, but he does see the Adepts going down around that right side, and he can wall off his base. I think he should build the Evo early, just because this is enough Adepts. They could focus it down. He's only got 1 Roach building. Oh, no. He built a lot of Zerglings and used up all of his lava just before the Roach Warren was finished. Oh, gee. 3 Roaches coming. Evo Chamber does go down pretty early, which is really good. Okay, Lings do get a wraparound on some of these Adepts, but it's still, a lot of the Lings are stuck behind each other. Roach does come out as well. Queens are doing good damage. The Lings are trapped inside the main as well, though. He's going to have to try and cancel the Shade. REYNOR needs to cancel that Evo. He needs to cancel that Evo right now and get these units outside of this base. His drone's trying to run away. The Queen Roach doing a pretty good job of defending as long as he gets that Evo up, and indeed he does. Very good defense for REYNOR. Could have been a lot worse with how late that was, but oh! I thought Classic was evacuating. I didn't think he'd commit there. He gets another drone or two. Does it cost him too much, though? Don't think that last shade-in was really worth it. More Adepts coming forwards behind this. More gateways going up. Oh gosh, he's just going to follow up with an Adept Immortal all-in. Oh, REYNOR's got a 4th base almost finished and a Hydra Den coming? Dude, if REYNOR gets, like, Ravages to deal with the force fields and just goes Mass Roach, Ravager, he wrecks this all in. But the question is, will he scout? Because right now, REYNOR's so busy fixing things up. He's like, build gases, fix saturation, go towards Hydras. If he stops right now on Workers or 66 and just makes army, he can win, but he should be morphing an Overseer and flying through the base. Seeing the lack of gas is big. Seeing the Sentry Immortal, any of this is big. Even just sending Lings in would be good. REYNOR, scout, 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 please. REYNOR, come on. We've got a scout, man. We've got a lot of Zerglings, 12 Lings, 6 Roaches. He's just, the Oracle's keeping him busy. It's distracting him. He's already thinking about the next step, but he's not scouted the follow-up at all. He's not made an attempt to scout the follow-up. REYNOR playing blind. REYNOR in dark. This is a big problem for both of these players. He's going to go scout the 4th base. More important is to scout the army comp. If these Adepts clean up the Zergling, this might give him the impression that the 4th base is about to be taken. This Ling needs to see everything. Let's go to REYNOR's vision, guys. We're on REYNOR's vision. He runs the Ling in. He sees it. He sees it now. Okay, he sees it. He's just made 2 more drones, so he's gone a bit high on drones, but he should cancel the infestation and make Ravages, make Roaches, make Hydras, and he should be able to survive this all in. Because what is it? 3 Immortals? Oh, 8 Sentries. That's a crazy number of force fields. He needs more Ravages. He needs to actually make Ling Ravager. The problem is he knows there's going to be a big Adept warp in. And that's going to be a really big problem for him, because Lings suck against that. So the Lings are kind of going around the flank instead, which is probably the correct call. Roaches will die to Immortals pretty fast, but Roaches might still be the best frontline. And he desperately needs more Ravages. He's got 3. I think he might need more than that. We'll see if he can do it, though. REYNOR's up in army supply. He's got a Spore Crawler coming in. He's trying to make a hive behind this. I think he's ready to defend this attack, though. He's got a good arc. He's got Groove Spines as well. Breaks the first layer of force fields. He's got to watch out for the next wave, though. Classic commits in hard here. Needs these force fields to break. Oh, great force field trap for Classic. Mass Ling tries to get in here, but dude, look at how many force fields he's got. 8 Sentries is actually insane. Okay, so most of the force fields have been used, but now it's just numbers versus numbers. Great Adept Shade into the 3rd, keeping REYNOR busy, which means REYNOR clumps his whole army on the left side. Does break that force field, but the Adept Ball's getting dangerously big. The Hydraling is going to try to come in on top. Stasis Trap's behind as well. Classic is making the most of a very low mid-tier army against what could be an army that scales much better than his. Classic needs more damage. He's got to get this hatchery at the very least here. He's trying to force a good fight. The force fields are slowly regenerating. 2 force fields at a time is enough to keep back the vast majority of the Hydras. Good force fields here. He's splitting up REYNOR's force and eating up these Roaches 1 or 2 at a time. These Immortals are on 11 kills, 5 kills, and 6 kills. This elite Protoss force trying to make the most of it, but I think REYNOR might have finally cracked through. 1 Immortal goes down. The pickups are good. The Spore Crawler clears the bloody Oracle. The Prism has saved 2 of the Immortals, but REYNOR holds on strong. And it looks like REYNOR, I don't know why, I just felt like in my heart Classic was going to steal a victory with that. I was like, dude, like, REYNOR looks well prepared, but also it just felt like with how late he scouted it, there was good, and those force fields were really clean. But now you've lost all your Sentries, now you've got 3 Immortals, 8 Adepts, you're just now starting +2 a Templar Archives and a 4th Nexus, and there is already a hive finished, a Lurker Den on the way. REYNOR may not have an economic lead in terms of workers, but he's got a 4th base, gases up. If he can get up to 85 drones now and just play a standard Lurker late game, Classic's going to be so delayed to Psystorm. Tempests are out of the picture for several more minutes, like probably 4 or 5 more minutes. This is a good spot to be in for REYNOR, defending multiple waves there. Did he use any Guardian Shield? He might have. I probably would have just used Force Field personally, because Guardian Shield, it only blocks a little bit of damage. Probably used one in one of the bigger fights, but you don't want to just spam it because it's 75 more, 75 versus 50 energy, and if you're slicing their army up, they're not really killing any units anyway, or very few. So yeah, I used his shield early in the fight, says chat. Yeah, it makes sense in one of the bigger clashes to have done that. All right. Here comes Adept High Templar Immortal for map control. Ling's going to go for that left base. No melee for them, so might just go for the probes. Yeah, the probes and the exposed structures is a good call here. Does run away pretty quickly. He's actually going to gather his whole army now. Lurkers are gathering on the front, guys. 8 Lurkers. REYNOR did not drone up that hard. He wants to get the counterattack going with urgency. And look at that, the Lings distract. Classic gets pulled out of position. Here comes the Lurker Hydra Ravager army. Storms could be big. Classic not watching. Classic was looking down here as the depth shaded and he walked through those Lurker blasts. REYNOR pulls back from the Psystorm, only really tanks it on a single guy. Lings will deal with these adepts, as will the Spine Crawler, random Spine Crawler left over from that earlier hold. That's a good defense. Meanwhile, Classic rotating to the middle of the map. REYNOR's got to pull to the left. He never made roach speed. He wasn't planning to build more roaches this game. He's tried to be as efficient as possible, has REYNOR, and I think it's really paid off for him because he's got a good count of Lurker Hydra Zergling. These 4 Immortals, absolute veterans, 19 kills, 11 kills, 7 kills, and 4 kills on those Immortals. Not too many kills spread across the Protoss units. I think like the Zerg units. A 4-kill Lurker is probably the best one. Lurkers do snipe the High Templar before walking right back into Psystorm. Old habits die hard. Lurker Hydra Ling here is going to be able to fight this position. The High Templar taking some big Lurker attacks. Ling surrounds as well. And the Hydra's thrust forward, lunging into action. And as all the Immortals go down, so do Classic's hopes and dreams. Knocked to the lower bracket there of the Revival StarCraft League. GG, well played. REYNOR with a very good series. Classic REYNOR, right? Massive holes in his scouting. Doesn't take safety precautions when a lesser player would have to. Gets away with it because he's a god of StarCraft. I love to see it. You love to see it. REYNOR. This is why I used to always love like REYNOR hero matches as well, because you got like REYNOR plays kind of dicey, hero does random stuff, and it feels like I feel like REYNOR should always beat hero, but hero can tilt REYNOR and make him start to do like dumb stuff and play worse. It's just it's very hard to guess what's gonna happen in these series, because like even this one, you know, didn't know that follow-up attack was coming, but the initial defense was good enough. Good wall off on the natural, I think, really did so much to protect him and got control from there. GG, well played, guys. REYNOR gets the 3-2 and takes the victory. GG's.